I'm Brijesh and I work for Rakuten Mobile. I'm working for Rakuten Mobile since last 6 and 7 years. Okay, and basically I started from the early age of the Rakuten Mobile when we were building it. Okay, and from the scratch I helped together with my team to build the network. Okay, basically in the core network I was representing the core network, and now at this time we see Rakuten Mobile growing, and it's growing very fast. Okay, and we have the advanced network. We utilize the latest technology available, say it a cloud technology as well as even the application side, also all the advancement we have used. So it's been a fantastic journey with Rakuten Mobile. And since we will be talking on the SONiC about the SONiC, there are some interesting things we can talk about the SONiC also. So see, Rakuten believe in its strategy and its vision to utilize the power of the latest innovation and the technology that we see around. And from the beginning itself, we have been in this journey and we utilize the latest power of the technology, and we have been successful. So about the SONiC, like I'm representing the architectural group, and we study in the market what are the technology advancement available and innovation happening in the market. And that's where the time when we're thinking of, as a strategically as in transformation of our IP network and this switching also. At that point of time, we read about the SONiC that opened us, and we thought of, okay, why not? Let's see if we are able to see it practically in our lab. And that's where it's basically we started to put this concept in one of the small lab setup to see if really we are able to realize it or not. And then slowly we'll see step by step what we are going to do. And the reason behind that is not just about technology, why we are doing, what actually triggered us. So the thing is, like, there were a lot of investment we are doing. And in the IP network, and the components and the switches router we are using, mostly they are coming from a big suppliers, and there is a tight coupling between the hardware and software. So we wanted to have a kind of a flexibility, and that flexibility is the reason behind that it will give you more power to select the best breed software and the hardware. And that's where actually we thought of, why not, let's go with it. Another thing is that it will help us to save the cost when you have the flexibility and you have the selection power to get the different suppliers in the market. And also, since there is no license, software licensing, and also from the hardware there are vendors available, you can go and choose the best vendors. It will give us a power to save the cost. Okay, and this flexibility will basically help us to go to the market in the least lead time. So time to market is also another reason why we thought of doing it. One side, when we thought of doing it, one side it was all concept and theory, and it was very, actually you can say, attracting, or very, that's why we started that if we could get 80% of it, it will be win-win situation for us. So when we went into the actual realization in the network, we started the first POC, the phase one. In the journey, we found that, okay, first of thing, we tried to went into the phase one manually without having any orchestration in the network. We thought of, first idea was that in the phase one we should be able to deploy the network NOS software on the white boxes. That was the first kind of milestone for us. And another thing is that by having that, build a small network, and we are able to basically configure manually and see how it actually works. That was the purpose before we go into orchestration and automation, and that we achieved in the phase one. That was the first win for us that encouraged us to go into the second phase. So in the second phase, we went to there. We included Beyond Edge. They have the orchestrator, and on top of that, they have the SDN stack also. So in the second step, what we have done, we build the network by using the Beyond Edge variety. Okay, that is, they can talk about that it is giving end-to-end orchestration to build a network, and also putting SDN stack to manage it, control panel, user panel. And that's where in the second step we found it's really working, and we were able to make it done. That was our second phase. In the third phase, now we went more functional, because we are done with deploying, creating a small network. We did with the automations, and the third phase was that let's go and do our use cases, what Rakuten use cases that we have. And in third, we just yesterday we got to know that it's completed successfully. We were able to uh, execute our test cases, that functional tests that we are having in the network, and we have deployed, and we found that it's really a working model with the SONiC NOS, Beyond Edge for orchestrator that we have used. And another thing I wanted to add, even on the white box, we went to multi-vendor. In the first phase and second phase, we used Edge Core. In the second phase, third phase, sorry, in the third phase, we used Dell with the Tomahawk 5. So overall, in this journey, these were the findings, and at this moment, I can say that it's really working. We are able to realize this concept, open network concept. The next thing would be that we would be actually trying to get some real traffic on this network and see we are not leaving any corner case and it's really working with the real traffic. That is our next step. Okay. So with the community, of course, see this concept and this innovation coming from community, and that is where we had a confidence because there are multi community members engaged and they are working and solving the problems as soon as they realize that one. Okay. So Rakuten is basically helping this community to practically ensure that it's a working model. It's not just a concept. This was our first step to do this, and it will be really good as a next step to see the real traffic if it is working. That's how we will help more to this community. It's not one side, it's both sides. And also we'll talk about our challenges that we faced in this journey. And it would be good that we are close to 100% feature parity legacy versus this open networking. That is what actually with the open community we seek the help from the open community. The next thing with the open community, we expect that and the challenge is to manage this operations because if there are multi white box vendors available and there is SONiC, so there are multiple engagement and interaction points, right? For a CSP, it is important that I run the operation, I get hold of actual the supplier or the vendors developing the software and hardware. So if there are multiple points, it is a difficult task for us. So we have to work with the community or maybe the supplier we are going to work in the future to have a single point of contact to manage entire my network, software plus hardware. That is what actually we are expecting from community side. And other side, we are going to share our knowledge, our challenges with the community member. So SONiC next chapter, the excitement is of course, um, see the cost saving is a big talk for a CSP. Having a margin profitability is the one part. So a CSP works on getting use cases. That is from the past. If you see, build more and more use cases, but that is not after a certain time that is not going to give you additional margin. What next is your infrastructure? How efficiently you are going to run your infrastructure, how you are going to monetize your infrastructure. That's where actually I'm very much excited from this open networking, that it gives me the flexibility, it gives me the least time deployment, and also because of the software control and center point of orchestration and controlling the routing all intelligently, it will give me a flexibility, you know, to route the network traffic in a smarter way, as well as I'm able to utilize my infra in a better way. It's not like that one piece of my network is 100% utilized, another piece is just lying idle. So this will help me to equally balance the traffic, utilize the infra, gives a better, rate of return on the investment. That's what actually, the next assignment in the community that we're looking for. Okay. Another thing is like on the like I talked about, but it is very important. That's why I'm repeating it. Is the feature parity. Okay. There is still, that there are still talks I could see in the market that is it going to get 100% feature parity versus the legacy network. That's where I would like to see more. This is my first visit to OCP event and very much excited and see there are a lot of things. Mostly it's the infrastructure side. So I see a big innovations happening in this IP networking and the switching component area. And going forward, this is the next revolution, making network open software and hardware disaggregation and going to build efficient data centers and network.